Good morning and welcome to News at 10 on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor. Now, Kolkata flyover tragedy continues to be our top focus. The death toll in the tragedy has now risen to 24. Rescue operations are going on. They are in the last phase. We'll get you all the details. Let us begin with the headlines. 24 dead as under construction flyover in Kolkata caves in. Mamata Banerjee oversees rescue operations as centre offers all assistance. Construction company calls it an act of God. Political blame game begins. Prime Minister Modi advocates international cooperation against terrorism during intervention at summit dinner ahead of nuclear security meet in Washington. Says the nuclear security must remain an abiding priority. China once again blocks India's bid at the UN to ban Jaish-e-Mohammed chief Masood Azhar. China's move just hours before deadline to UN committee considering ban. Met Department warns warmer than normal temperature this summer. Heat wave conditions likely over central and northwestern parts of the country. And India knocked out of the ICC World T20 Championship as West Indies seal their final berth with a thrilling 7-wicket victory at Wankhede. The top story this morning. Now, 24 people have died and 88 injured after an under-construction bridge in Kolkata caved in. Now, the NDRF is engaged in rescue efforts as many more people are feared buried under the debris. An FIR has been lodged and the office of the construction company in Kolkata has been sealed. However, political blame game has also begun.
Under construction bridge over the busy Vivekananda Road and Tagore Street crossing spot in Kolkata caving in on Thursday.
सुबह ये 12 बजे घटना हुआ है। बहुत सारे ऑफिशियल और बहुत सारे ऑटो 4 सिलेंडर ब्लास्ट हुआ अंदर के।
सुबह का समय का करीब 12:30 का करीब था, बज रहा था, सामान भी चल रहा था, सब कुछ वो आने जाने कर रहे थे। अचानक ही एक जोरदार का धमाका हुआ और पूरा ब्रिज नीचे की तरफ गिर गया और अचानक एक गुबार भर गया, धुएं का गुबार भर गया।
Locals rushing in for rescue first before teams of the state police, disaster management teams, CRPF, CRP and army men came in. 2 teams of the NDRF engaged in rescue ops. Anger among locals palpable.
ये फ्लाईओवर ये जो बन रहा है, एक अंधा आदमी को अगर कभी आप बोलोगे कि ये फ्लाईओवर का कंस्ट्रक्शन आप देखिए किस ढंग से बना हुआ है, ये तो गिरना ही था।
किसी चीज का ना एम्बुलेंस का ना ये इसका ऑक्सीजन का ना मिलिट्री फोर्स का ना पुलिस का किसी भी चीज का तो यहाँ पे सेफ्टी नहीं है।
NDRF teams are working there continuously. The whole night we conducted the operations. Our 10 teams are working there continuously.
An FIR has been lodged in connection with the collapse. The police have also sealed the office of the company that was constructing the bridge. The company called it an act of God.
Police already lodged FIR. Police already said, CP already said, they have locked their office also. Further law will take its own course. The technical committee has been set up along with Kharagpur ITI team because it's a technical subject. And also regarding this inquiry committee also been set up.
We already done almost 65-70% of the work is already over. Still the remaining 45% is supposed to complete and still in the process. Nothing has happened. Today the girders were missed, it seems. Still is in the process. One girder is missed, then second one also fell. And that's how the accident has taken place. It's nothing but a God's act.
West Bengal Governor K.N. Tripathi visited the spot where Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee and other senior officials of the state government were overseeing rescue work. He has sought a report from the state government of the incident. Prime Minister Modi, who is in the US, called up Mamata Banerjee and assured all assistance.
यूएस में हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी हैं, उनका टेलीफोन मुझे भी प्राप्त हुआ है। कलकत्ता में जो ये हादसा हुआ है ब्रिज गिरने के कारण, उस पर उन्होंने भी अपनी संवेदना व्यक्त की है। उन्होंने कहा है कि और अधिक जो कुछ भी किया जा सकता हो इसमें केंद्र सरकार के द्वारा भी किया जाना चाहिए।
Despite the tragedy, political blame game over who is responsible has begun. Mamta Banerjee has said that the tender for the bridge was passed during the erstwhile left-front government and that the company has not provided her government details of construction plans despite reminders. While the Congress accused Mamta Banerjee, the left said it will reply to all the allegations by the TMC. The BJP has demanded a CBI probe accusing the government of corruption.
ये सबसे बड़ा जिम्मेदार है बंगाल की सरकार, क्योंकि ये जो ब्रिज है इनको हालात खस्ता होते जा रहे थे बहुत पहले ही, इसलिए यहाँ के लोकल लोग काफी शिकायत भी दर्ज किए हैं कि ये जो ब्रिज इनको सुधार करो, लेकिन ये सरकार अनदेखी किए हैं.
Today is not a day for blame game. Let the operations go on. Whatever may the Chief Minister say, we will answer it tomorrow. The prime task, the only priority today is rescue operations and the treatment. So let us concentrate on that.
वो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट का जो राहत के मामले में भी अप्रोच है, जो लोग घायल हुए हैं उनके मामले में भी जो एटीट्यूड है वो बहुत नॉन सीरियस है.
The construction of the 2.2-kilometer long flyover started in 2009 during the previous left-front rule.
The bridge named after Vivekanand was one of the pet projects of Chief Minister Mamta Banerjee when she came to power in 2011. This has been under construction since 2009. Opposition parties are alleging that the construction was not properly planned in pole-bound West Bengal. This is certainly going to be a big political issue against Mamta Banerjee. With camera person Jitendra, this is Pranav Goswami, Rajya Sabha TV, Kolkata.
All right, so the rescue operation, in fact, continued through the entire night. We understand that 10 NDRF teams are already working there. So and they're also saying that the rescue operations are in their last phases. Let's go across to my colleague Pranav Goswami, who is joining us live from Kolkata. Pranav, now the rescue operations continued through the night. Now, tell us about the rescue operations. What is the possibility of finding alive the victims?
It is suspected that there could be some more people who are trapped under the huge chunk of metal and cement, and so the rescue operation is still going on, but there are very less possibilities that anybody is still under the debris. But as far as the rescue operation is concerned, they are trying their best because it was a huge concrete structure with just came crashing down, so they'll be just removing everything, and then the rescue operation will be over. High level inquiry has been ordered by Chief Minister Mamta Banerjee, but we are seeing that opposition parties are alleging that the construction was not properly planned. So there is certainly going to be a politics against Mamta Banerjee when we know that West Bengal is going for election. So this has become a political issue, but as far as this tragic incident is concerned, which took over yesterday, now rescue operation will be over in few hours.
Pranav, also now you were mentioning about the political blame game that has started. Now, Mamata Banerjee has blamed the previous left government that had actually awarded the flyover contract in the year 2007. Any reactions coming in from the left?
Left parties are saying that they gave this contract with all rules and regulation, no violation of any rules were there. But it is also very strange that this construction was to be completed within 18 months, but it has been under construction for last 7 years. So the left government as well as TMC government is answerable that why this project took so much of time. So these questions are being raised by opposition parties, but Mamta Banerjee is saying that there is no fault, and as far as that company is concerned, they are also not taking blame on them. But unfortunately, this disaster happened, and now as we all know that happens every time that some tragic incident happen, and then this blame game starts.
Absolutely. In fact, the company has said it is an act of God. Well, thank you so much, Pranav, for all those details. We'll keep coming back to you in the subsequent bulletins for more updates on that story. Let's move on in the bulletin now. Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has strongly advocated international cooperation to tackle the threat of nuclear terrorism. Now, during his intervention at a summit dinner hosted by US President Barack Obama, Prime Minister Modi said that nuclear security must remain an abiding priority. Remember, the Nuclear Security Summit, to be attended by more than 50 countries and 4 international organizations, will assess the threats of nuclear terrorism worldwide. Prime Minister Narendra Modi laying out his vision of securing nuclear weapons. During his intervention on nuclear terrorism threat at Nuclear Summit dinner at White House, he emphasized on novel ways to tackle global terrorism. Modi underlined 3 contemporary features of terrorism. It uses extreme violence as theatre. He said terror has evolved. Terrorists are using 21st century technology. He said we are no longer looking for a man in cave, but hunting for a terrorist in a city with a computer or a smartphone. But the Prime Minister said our responses are rooted in the past. Third, he emphasized on state actors working with nuclear traffickers and terrorists presenting greatest risks. PM went on to say that terrorism was globally networked, but still we act only nationally to counter this threat. Drop the notion that terrorism is someone else's problem and that his terrorist is not my terrorist. PM Modi will be attending the 4th Nuclear Security Summit today. The biannual summit aims to improve nuclear security around the world.
And India has a very important role to play with respect to responsible stewardship of nuclear weapons and nuclear materials. India has a long record of being a leader, of being responsible.
We do hope that this cooperation will find a new strength, a new heights, will get further strengthened and deepened. And we share many concerns, particularly our concerns about terrorism, about concerns about the cyberspace and others, and we've been working together on that.
Earlier in the day, Modi met a team of scientists of Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory or LIGO project in Washington, D.C. that recently proved the existence of gravitational waves envisaged by Albert Einstein a century ago. The day also saw exchange of LIGO project agreement between Department of Atomic Energy and National Science Foundation.
The LIGO project has proved the gravitational waves theory based here in the US, but now they would like LIGO projects to be replicated in other parts of the world so that based on their geographical data also they can prove the gravitational waves theory. And the project in India, the cabinet has already approved an outlay of 1,200 crores for the project in India.
On the sidelines of the summit, Modi met his New Zealand counterpart John Key and held discussion on bilateral issues including trade and technology. He also met Indian community members in Washington. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. In more news from Washington now, well, the US and China have agreed to work together to try and prevent further missile tests by North Korea. US President Barack Obama said this after his meeting with his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping on the sidelines of the Nuclear Security Summit in Washington. Obama further said that the two countries were keen to see a nuclear-free Korean peninsula. China is North Korea's closest ally and largest trading partner as well. In recent weeks, North Korea has carried out a hydrogen bomb test and has repeatedly test-fired missiles while making threats to the West. Since then, the United Nations and Washington have passed a further sanction on Pyongyang. The UN steps were drafted with the support by China and also reportedly came after 2 months of negotiations between Beijing and Washington.
Like China and other countries, the United States has significant interests in the Asia-Pacific region. We have deep concerns about our ability to protect the intellectual property of our companies, and we care deeply about human rights. But I very much appreciate President Xi's willingness to have candid conversations on these issues in a constructive way.
中美的双边贸易额、双向投资额、人员往来都创了历史的新高。我们同时呢，就这个朝鲜河、叙利亚、阿富汗这些问题，以及呢这个像维和像发展。
In a dramatic move, now China has once again blocked India's bid at the United Nations to ban Jaish-e-Mohammed chief Masood Azhar, the mastermind of the Pathankot terror attack. Now, just hours before the deadline, China requested the UN committee considering a ban on chief of Pakistan-based terror outfit Jaish-e-Mohammed to keep on hold the decision. After the attack on the Indian Air Force base at Pathankot on 2nd of January, India had written to the United Nations calling for immediate action to list Azhar under the Al-Qaeda Sanctions Committee. The submission was armed with strong evidence of the terror outfit's activities and also its role in the Pathankot terror attack that killed 7 Indian military personnel. The UN had banned JEM in 2001, but India's efforts to ban Azhar after the Mumbai terror attack also did not fructify, as China, who is one of the 5 permanent members of the UN group with the veto powers, did not allow the ban, apparently at the behest of Pakistan again.
It is an idea that we need to name and shame such terrorists, and if somebody is listed, he is named and shamed, even as we go after the bigger legal issue of their terrorist acts.
And in News at 10, we'll take a very short break. We'll be right back.
Packing off the infiltrators after assuming power.
Congress has been always witnessing the influx of illegal migrants.
34% Muslim population. How is BJP trying to reach that population?
They are here for the last 800 years. They are the integral part of the Assamese society. So now it is our main objective to protect their interests.
But who is a bigger rival for BJP, Congress or AUDF?
Both Congress and AUDF.
Watch to the point only on Rajya Sabha television.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. Now an update on the Uttarakhand crisis. Well, the Congress has decided to move court if the centre issues ordinance to authorize expenditure beyond 1st of April in Uttarakhand, which is under President's rule. Now, the Congress has said that promulgation of any such ordinance would be unprecedented and unconstitutional. The party has accused the centre of being not concerned about parliamentary democracy and the constitution. Claiming that the budget has already been approved by the Uttarakhand Assembly, Congress says that the Speaker has declared so and there is no petition in any court against it nor has anyone approached any court. Well, the centre, on the other hand, has defended its decision, saying that there is a constitutional breakdown in the state that forced the centre to take that decision.
ऑर्डिनेंस इश्यू हो रहा है इसलिए क्योंकि वो चाहते हैं कि किसी तरीके से ये vote on the floor of the house nahi ho. We are going to challenge it because it is completely unconstitutional.
The state is not able to get the appropriation bill, thereby creating a constitutional crisis. From 1st onwards, tomorrow onwards, people will be left with no salaries and no developmental work also, because without appropriation you cannot withdraw money. So the government of India stepped in on the basis of the governor's recommendation.
Well, India will witness warmer than normal temperature this summer, with heat wave-like conditions likely over central and northwest parts of the country. The Met Department said that this will be the first time that the seasonal temperature will be above normal by more than 1 degree Celsius over northwest India. There is also a high possibility of 76% of maximum temperatures in the core heat wave zone during this summer to be above normal. Now, some of the states that fall under the core heat wave zone are Punjab, Himachal Pradesh, West Bengal, Gujarat and Delhi. IMD has also attributed the El Nino and increase in greenhouse gases to the above normal temperature. While 2015 was recorded as the warmest year since 1901, the country has also witnessed warm January and February, making it the warmest winter as well. And from today onwards, tobacco products will carry larger pictorial warnings covering 85% of the packaging space. The central notification on the same comes into effect from today. Now, this is despite the parliamentary panel's recommendation for a drastic reduction in the size of the visual message. The Health Ministry had made a commitment to the Rajasthan High Court on 28th of March that it will implement the said rules from 1st of April 2016. The Parliamentary Committee on Subordinate Legislation had described it as too harsh, the government's proposal that 85% of the packaging surface carry pictorial warnings, and recommended that the message could occupy 50% of the space. The stand had evoked a sharp criticism from MPs and health experts as well. Well, let's get to some international news. A Belgian court has decided that Paris attack suspect Salah Abdeslam should be extradited to France. Abdeslam has been charged by Belgian prosecutors with participation in terrorist murder and faces a European arrest warrant issued by France. This warrant is a procedure reserved for European Union member states that speeds up the extradition process by preventing government authorities from blocking any transfer. Now, prosecutors said that France and Belgium would now discuss on how to proceed with the transfer. Investigators believe the attacks in Paris and Brussels were carried out by militants from the same Islamic State network.
Dès lors que maintenant il a donné son consentement formel à l'exécution de son mandat d'arrêt européen devant un procureur fédéral et que ça a été acté dans un procès verbal par ce procureur fédéral, à notre sens, la décision de la Chambre du Conseil est même devenue sans objet, n'a plus d'incidence parce que maintenant le procès verbal que détient le parquet fédéral suffit à le remettre aux autorités françaises et exécuter son mandat d'arrêt.
Let's get you some more international stories in World Wrap. Thousands of Brazilians took to the streets in defense of beleaguered President Dilma Rousseff, many carrying banners that said there will not be a coup. Rousseff could be removed from power as soon as May if the lower house of Congress approves her impeachment. She has pledged to fight the charges brought by the opposition of irregularities in the government budget designed to favor her re-election in 2014. Vietnam has named a woman for the first time to the influential role of chairperson in its rubber-stamped National Assembly today. Veteran lawmaker and senior Communist Party official Nguyen Thi Kim Ngan was elected with 95.5% of the votes after a poll in the country's 500-strong legislative body. The Islamic State terror group claimed responsibility for a suicide attack that killed a policeman in Russia's volatile region of Dagestan. According to an IS statement distributed online, the group claimed that an IS fighter detonated his explosive belt at a checkpoint of the Dagestani police, killing and wounding several people. The attack came after Syrian troops, backed by Russian forces, secured an important victory against Islamic State by recapturing the ancient city of Palmyra. A volcano on the Alaska Peninsula erupted with a little advanced warning about over the weekend, spewing ash cloud of up to 20,000 feet high that prompted aviation warnings across the region. The Federal Aviation Administration issued a red aviation alert in response to the eruption of Mount Pavlov. The alert could affect local and regional air traffic as well as polar routes and cargo flights from Anchorage. Such events can last weeks or months. Let's get you some cricket news. In World T20, West Indies stunned India by 7 wickets in the second semi-final in Mumbai. Virat Kohli's valiant innings went in vain as Lyndall Simmons scored an unbeaten 82 to help the Caribbean side chase India's challenging total of 192. West Indies will now take on England in Sunday's final at the Eden Gardens.
MS is going to flip it. Toss turned out to be a crucial factor in the second semi-final between India and West Indies as the hosts were put into bat at the Wankhede Stadium by the Caribbean side. Openers Rohit Sharma and Ajinkya Rahane, who was replacing Shikhar Dhawan, gave India their best start of the tournament, with the pair putting up 62 runs for the first wicket. That laid the perfect foundation for Kohli, who continued his rich vein of form by smashing an undefeated 89, his third unbeaten half-century in the tournament. Kohli struck 11 fours and a 6 in his 47-ball knock, putting on 66 for the second wicket with Rahane and an unbroken 64 with the third with captain Mahendra Singh Dhoni, as the hosts posted an imposing total of 192 for 2. West Indies fumbled early in the chase as they lost dangerous Chris Gale and Marlon Samuels early.
What's happened here? This is a simple catch.
But opener Johnson Charles and Lyndall Simmons kept them in the hunt by keeping up with the run rate. The duo made it more difficult for the Indian bowlers as they were smashed around the park by the pair, who added 97 runs for the third wicket. Luck also failed the hosts as Simmons was caught twice, but both times the bowlers overstepped for no balls. Simmons made the hosts pay dearly as he led his team to a nail-biting 7-wicket win in the last over.
I think today was my day. Every cricketer has his day, and today was my day. I had a bit of luck on my side. I ride my luck, and things went the way I wanted it.
The bad toss to lose. We lost the toss when we started batting. By the time our first innings got over, and after the break when we went into bowl, the first few overs were fine, but after that there was considerable amount of dew, which meant the spinners couldn't bowl how they would have liked to bowl. It was coming on nicely and the ball got wet. So the difference between the first innings and the second innings when it comes to the surface was too much.
The 2012 champions will now take on England in the Sunday's final at the Eden Gardens. England had won the tournament in 2010, and both teams will look to conquer the World T20 for the second time. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, what an exciting match that was. And now a look at the other sports stories in Sports Wrap. Defending champion Saina Nehwal and two-time World Championship bronze medalist PV Sindhu advanced to the quarterfinals of the India Open Super Series. Saina Nehwal saw off Nichaun Jindapol of Thailand in straight sets 21-19, 21-14, while Sindhu had to toil hard for her three-set victory. World Championships bronze medalist Shiv Thapa became the first Indian boxer to qualify for Rio Olympics by entering the Asian qualifying tournament's final in China. He will face second seed Chorchai Buddhi of Thailand in the final. However, it was a heartbreak for Mary Kom, who went down to her Chinese opponent in the semi-finals. However, Mary Kom has another chance of qualifying for the Rio Olympics during the World Championships in May. And world number one, Novak Djokovic edged into the semi-finals of the Miami Open with a 6-3, 6-3 victory over Thomas Berdych. Djokovic will next face the Belgian's David Goffin, who defeated France's Gilles Simon. The Serb has improved his record to 26-1 this year, with his only defeat in Dubai when he was forced to retire due to an eye infection. Well, that is all in this edition of news. Thanks so much for your time.